Hi, I'm Peleg Top, and it's my pleasure to offer you the recording of this session. Before you dive in, I'd like to offer you a couple of tips on how to make the most of this enriching listening experience. The way you show up to this work will shape your experience. So I encourage you to treat this recording as a live session. In other words, be a participant, not just an observer. Do the work. Choose a comfortable and quiet environment where you can listen without interruptions and avoid listening while driving. I'm going to lead you through some reflective writing exercises, and that's best done while not operating a vehicle. If you can, use a pair of headphones. That will enhance your listening experience and minimize external distractions. And bring your full attention. This session is packed with insightful information, so I encourage you to be fully present, take notes, do the exercises, and engage with the process fully. And finally, please consider liking and subscribing to this channel. This will only help take this work into the world in a bigger way so that more people find it and benefit from it. Enjoy. So, hello and Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to our Shabbat session. I'm Peleg Top, and I'm really glad that you're here. Here's what's in store for our gathering today. In the next 100 minutes or so, we will do a little bit of meditation. We will get present, and we will have a session that focuses on abundance and money and manifesting abundance and money in your life. There'll be some teaching, there'll be some reflective exercises that I'll give you, writing exercises, and there'll be some coaching. We'll close with time for community response. So if you have questions along the way, I encourage you to jot them down, and we'll have time and space for Q&A towards the end. We'll wrap up, and I'll tell you a little bit more about next steps that you can take in your own abundance journey, and a little bit more about my mentoring program and how it could support your own creative high growth journey. This session is an invitation. It's an opportunity for you to slow down for a bit, to find that quiet space inside of you that is ready to be present. This session is less about a presentation, although I will do some teaching, but it's really it's more of a working session. I'll guide you to reflect and inquire and do some work for you to begin to gain some new perspectives and a new view on abundance and about your relationship with money. So thank you for being here. Welcome. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, thank you for coming. And for the rest of you, I see a lot of familiar faces that I know and love so much. Thank you for taking time out of your weekend to choose to be here again, to choose to return into this work. And this session is being recorded as well. And if you are listening to this recording, thank you for your precious attention and for showing up for yourself today. So for those of you who don't know who I am, because there are a few new faces here that I haven't met before, my name is Peleg Top. I'm a spiritual teacher, I'm a business coach, and I'm a mentor, and I've been doing this work for close to 20 years. I'm also the creator of the 100 Days of Creative High Growth program that focuses on helping people learn the tools and foundational skills to helping them get unstuck and create a life of abundance. It's really an abundance program, but more on that later. I'm also an artist. You know, before my coaching career, before I became a teacher, I had a thriving career for about 25 years as a professional artist and a design agency owner. So I am very much familiar with the challenges, the fears, the belief system that we creatives have, because I was right there with you. And over the last 20 years of coaching hundreds of creative people, both one-on-one and both in group settings, I've learned a few things about the typical mindset of a creative person, especially when it comes to money. I learned that as an industry of creators, we tend to come from a place of fear and scarcity. It tends to be our default. In fact, I would say that there's a scarcity epidemic in our industry that influences how we work, how we play, how we show up to our life, how we love, and especially our relationship to money. So, my mission in doing this work is to help us overcome this scarcity mindset, shift into abundance, shift into love, come from a place of love. Because I know from my own healing journey that once we live in that abundance mindset, one that kind of kicks in and becomes our natural default, life looks very different. Life feels very different. Opportunities that we would have never been presented to all of a sudden showed up. Synchronicities occur that support our growth, and just a new sense of flow begins to enter. So, in today's session, we're going to use this time to do some deep work in the areas of money. And my goal is to help you begin to identify some of the limiting beliefs that you have around money and guide you through some self inquiry that can hopefully illuminate something in your inner world that you may have not paid attention to, something that may possibly be an area for you to dive into and do deeper work later on. So think of this session as a catalyst to beginning a new path of learning how to truly create a life of abundance, especially when it comes to money. So I encourage you, don't cheat yourself out of this opportunity to do this work. Um, it may feel uncomfortable at times. My job as a mentor, my job as a coach is not only to teach, but as also to push you a little, to get you to an uncomfortable place, because in the discomfort is where we grow. And that's when the healing happens. So I invite you to be open to that, to lean into the discomfort. Now, something extraordinary and magical happens when we come together as a community for the sake of supporting each other and sharing our spiritual journey. A community like this one here can be a fuel for your personal growth. This is one of the reasons that my mentoring program is community driven. We do all the work together as a cohort. Aside from what I bring to the table from my own experience and wisdom of my life's experience, I love the support and the wisdom that the members of a community offer each other. And what I've learned is that being in community has the power to create a synergy that inspires, that motivates, and that amplifies the potential of you just doing it on your own. So, this is a community of amazing creators, of talented artists, gifted teachers, coaches, and what I like to call light workers. Each one of you is a light worker in the world with the work that you do. So, my hope today is that you leave this session feeling more connected to yourself, that you feel a sense of belonging, and that you take whatever touches your heart and teach it to others. So, thank you for creating this time for yourself, for being here, for doing this work. I wholeheartedly believe that um, the saying that Gandhi said once, be the change you want to see in the world. It starts with you, and it starts today. And I believe that our external world is a direct reflection of our inner world. So if you would like to see your external world begin to change for the better, start with looking at yourself. Start with working at yourself, because that will be your best strategy to creating the life experience that you really, really desire. So what I know for sure is that the more of us to do this work, the bigger the ripple effect that we create in spreading love and healing and light in the world. So let's take a breath together. This nice deep breath. Let your shoulders relax a little bit. And if you brought a candle with you, now is the time to bring it out and light it, get present. And as you gaze into the flame of your candle, I invite you to receive the following blessing. As we gather in this space, let our hearts be drawn together by the warmth of this flame. As we light this candle, let it be a beacon of the creative fire that dwells within each of us. May the light remind us of our inner strength, our boundless imagination, and our shared journey towards growth and discovery. May this light ignite us and spark inspiration, illuminating the path that we walk together, even as we are apart. And in the glow of this flame, let's find unity and hope and courage to bring our dreams to life. So here's to the creative free spirit in all of us. May it flourish, guide, and light the way. All right, do me a favor now and just take a deep breath and close your eyes for a minute. Let's get present together. And imagine the sound of these bells as an invitation for you to enter a space with yourself that is sacred. Let it all settle down. Just stay here with me for a few minutes. Bring all your attention and awareness to the crown of your head. To the space between your eyes. Begin to slowly scan your body, dropping your attention to your ears, your nose, your mouth. And as you're scanning, imagine this light of calm just coming over you and allowing you to get very present and very still. Let your jaw drop. Bring your attention to your throat. Pay attention to the space between your shoulders, to your back, your lower back, your stomach, focusing on your seat, your legs, on your knees. It's almost like this energy is just taking over your body, all the way down to your feet. Bring awareness to your toes. And now, bring your attention back to your chest. Take a deep breath. Pay attention to your heart. From that place, take a deep breath in, a breath out, and just let go. You might want to put your hand on your heart and just feel this present moment to be open, to receive, to be open for divine love. It's here for you. When it feels right, go ahead and flutter your eyes open, and taking the space around you. Take a deep breath. Yeah, that was great. Sometimes that's all it takes. Just 3 minutes of scanning your body, allowing your breath to just kind of like, ooh, relax you. relax your nervous system, and allow you to just get here. I invite you to leave yesterday outside, leave tomorrow outside. All is well right here and right now. Okay. Now that we've gotten present, now that you have your candle lit, I hope all of you have got a chance to light your candle. Our session today is called Abundance Unleashed. And I was very intentional in choosing this title because I believe abundance exists in every one of us. And yet, for so many of us, abundance seems to be trapped inside a prison cell of fears and insecurities. To unleash abundance and allow it to flow and be the energy that drives our life, you must have access to that inner part of ourselves. And that access can only occur if we learn to tame that voice of our sabotaging inner critic and live in a state of gratitude and express ourselves, express our creativity, express our authentic self, and use all of that as a tool, as an energy to keep feeding the abundance flow, keep that active. Now, for abundance to truly flow in your life, we want to pay attention to how you may be contradicting your desires with your belief system. Okay, so I'm going to teach you something really important here. So pay attention, because what I'm about to teach you here took me decades to learn myself. So let's take an example. If let's say you desire more money in your life, but you believe that you're not worthy of receiving it. When that happens, you're actually blocking yourself from manifesting that desire. So your belief system is a key component to the creation of life, to the creation of money for you. Your ability to create abundance will be limited by a limited belief system. So where we want to arrive to is a place where your desire is aligned with your belief system. So if you desire financial abundance, for example, I'm assuming that's why you're here in the session, and you believe that you are worth of receiving it, and you are ready to receive it, you will be creating a whole new level of energy and a vibration to operate from. From this place, that voice of the inner critic, the sabotaging inner critic, doesn't have much power. Neither do negative opinions of people around you, because you will be driven by a powerful source of creation that is alive and active inside of you. So now you have a current belief system around money, whether you like it or not. And we're going to dive into the world of money and unpack how that belief, the belief system, plays a role in your experience of abundance. So we have different forms and different symbols that represent abundance. And many of us focus on the particular form or the symbol of abundance that's called money. So many of us are raised with a contradictory belief system about the idea of money. On one hand, our culture tells us if you don't make a lot of money, you're not successful. And on the other hand, we're also told that if you focus too much on money, you become greedy. So, how do we reconcile these contradictory belief systems? Well, we do it in a number of ways. Let's say that you really believe that the love of money is the root of all evil. And if you focus too much on making money, somehow that will make you a bad, evil, greedy person. You have connected that belief to the belief that you need to make money to be successful. So you have linked them together. And you may go through life unconsciously avoiding the idea of attracting any kind of wealth because it may actually be more important to you to be a good person than to have money. So you constantly believe that attracting money will make you into a bad person or a greedy person, and it's more important for you to be a good person. So you will do everything in your power to avoid attracting money and possibly even sabotaging your ability to make the kind of money you actually want. It's only when you realize that you have this contradictory belief system locked together, you can look at it and say, wait a minute, I can look around and see that there are many wealthy people in the world who are actually very good people, very kind people. Right there, I have example in my reality, but it doesn't automatically mean that if I have a lot of money, I'm a bad person. Boom. I just disconnected that belief. And you can suddenly say that it makes no sense to believe what I believe just because I have a lot of money, I'm automatically going to be a bad person. It makes no sense because I can see what that belief is actually saying. It's illogical. I can see that it's not always true. And as soon as I identify that clearly, it's gone. Now, you can attract what you need. From that point forward, you still have to be very clear about what your definitions really are. Because if you still focus on the idea that you always only need money to accomplish certain things in life, you may be still limiting and restricting yourself from attracting abundance in some other form that may actually be an easier form for you to achieve what you need. So the first step is to identify that you have a contradictory belief system that is causing you to motivate yourself in the opposite direction than you prefer to. The second step is making sure that you have a clear definition so that you can use that energy in the most appropriate and effective way in your life. Now, as we've come to understand, a big part of the intention of this work that we're doing is to kind of upgrade your inner operating system. And when it comes to money, it's going to be really hard for us to create the wealth that we desire if our system that's operating our beliefs is programmed by scarcity and fear. Wealth is not really measured by the money in your bank account, my friends. It's measured by the quality of your thoughts. I want to say this again. Wealth is not measured by the money in your bank account. It's measured by the quality of your thoughts. And if you're operating from a place of fear, wealth and money may come your way, but chances are they won't stay long enough for you to truly enjoy them and use your wealth in a healthy way. So, to help cement this idea for you, I want to share with you a personal story that I think you'll appreciate. When I decided to get serious and work on healing my scarcity mindset, I hired a coach to help me overcome my fears around money, which, trust me, I had plenty of. What motivated me to work with this particular coach was something I heard him say to me when we were first um, exploring working together. He said that he figured out how to have and make money, but didn't know how not to have fear. He knew he figured out how to make money and have money, but he didn't know how to figure out how to not have fear. That was something that I really related to immediately because in my own fears were getting in the way of me truly living in abundance. And that for me was kind of like my wake up call of beginning to investigate and inquire what my relationship with money is all about. Most people carry fears around money, and for you to arrive to a place in your life where your fears around money aren't running you anymore, it's going to take some major reprogramming. And we're going to start doing that today in this session. I'm going to guide you through a few reflective exercises that will help you gain access to this abundance energy that exists in you already and it's waiting to be unleashed. So, are you in? Are you with me? Are you following me so far? Give me a give me a thumbs up. Okay, beautiful. So, let's begin with the most simplest exercise. Open your notebook and I'm going to give you just a minute or two to get a sense of how do you define abundance? What does abundance mean to you? What is your definition of abundance? So let's take 2 minutes and answer the question or complete the sentence. Abundance is, with whatever comes to mind, and then do it again. Do it like, 3 times. How do you define abundance? And I encourage you to, when we're doing this work, be as real as you can with yourself, please. Be as real as you can with yourself. How do you define abundance? Abundance is. Okay. I'm curious to see where we're starting from. So I want to invite 3 of you to just quickly share what your definition is. Right? So I'm going to invite you to raise your hand. And you can do it by clicking the reaction button on your screen. And that way I could see that you want to share. We'll start with Virginia. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Virginia. Where are you? Hold on. Let me find you on my screen. Where are you? There's so many of you on here. It's hard for me to see.
There we go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm trying to find you. I'm trying to find you. Hold on. Let me just put you on speaker mode. Okay, great. I'm going to let's see if I can pin you or spotlight you. I'm still getting used to this Zoom thing. Here we go.
Yeah, my definition's enough time and resources to feel safe, feeling secure in my ability to care for myself, and more than enough to do the things I want to do in this world.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Great
That's
definition.
what it meant to me.
Good. Christopher Shell. Hello, my friend. So let me spot you. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, what's your definition?
I brought down a couple, but the last one I have is abundance is the place where peace and energy overlap.
Nice. I haven't heard that version before. I like that. I like that. Let's see who we can pick next. I think David, you had your hand up, right, David? Yeah. Tell us what it is for you, David.
I hope it's okay that it's not all positive. I wrote abundance is having more than enough. Abundance is scary and not totally possible. Abundance is for everyone but me. Abundance is inside of me. Abundance is greed. Abundance is being present. Abundance is now.
Beautiful. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I'm going to give you my definition of abundance. And those of you who've worked with me before know this definition because it's the way that it's what I teach and it's the way that I live my life. But for me, the abundance is the ability to do what I need to do when I need to do it. Write that down. Abundance, the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. Not necessarily what you want to do. It's what you need to do. You have the ability to do it. And the ability is what we want to focus on today. The ability is what we want to activate in you. So, this is the formula that I want to share with you. Okay. So, Abundance is a positive energy that we want to tap into in our lives. Abundance responds to love. The things that activate love and keep love consistent and keeps us in that energy, there's three elements to the formula. The first element is creativity. When I say creativity, I don't mean like the ability to solve a problem. Yes, creativity is partly to solve a problem. Many of us in the creative industry, and many of us creatives, have been trained to channel our creative energy to solving other people's problems, right? I'm talking about the creative energy that runs us. I'm talking about the the way that we express ourselves in the world. So our creativity becomes a form of self-expression that's coming from a place that is pure and free and coming from a place of love. So creativity is one component. Second component is self-love. How I love myself, how I see myself, how I value myself will ultimately be a reflection of my bank account. Because if I love myself, I will take more risks. I won't be afraid to ask for what I want. I won't be afraid to ask my worth. I won't be afraid to actually um, uh, play with money as a game versus afraid to touch it, afraid to step into that space. Self love produces confidence, and it takes confidence to create money, to be in that space of abundance. The third component is gratitude, to be grateful every day. To practice that gratitude is a key component, because here's what happens if those three areas are not actively working in your life. If this is not part of your way of being, part of your daily practice, what we invite is a negative energy. We open up the space for negative energy to exist. It's almost like it's our default, right? And that is the scarcity mindset that we experience, because scarcity responds to fear. And when we're in a place of scarcity and in that place of fear, we're not really creating our life. We are reacting to life. We become reactive to everything that comes to us, right? We're not responding with our creative genius. We're reacting out of fear, and out of our story, our belief system kicks in. If we're not in a place of active self-love, our inner critic is in control. We're going to be comparing ourselves. We're going to be doubting ourselves. We're going to feel like we're not worth receiving the money that we want. We have to pay attention to that. And if we're not in a space of gratitude, if gratitude is not an active way of being in us, we stay in a space of expectation. We continually expect things to happen. We try things and expect them to happen. And when they don't happen, well, we become hard on ourselves. We fall into depression. We get into this darkness. So I hope you can see the power of this formula when all these three things work together, the potential of what they can create in your life. This whole approach is the creative high growth system that I teach my mentees. So this is for you to take and practice. Take a screenshot if you need to. Then now's the moment. Print it out. Put it up. Begin to use this as your curriculum for your growth, and watch what happens. So now that we have a better understanding of this formula, now that we have this reference point of what's possible, let's begin our journey with doing some work around identifying the limitations and the belief system that we have, specifically when it comes to how abundance shows up in our life when it comes to money. Let's do a little bit of a diagnostic. So I invite you to open your notebook, open your journals, grab a pen, and take a look at this next slide that has a collection of different types of emotions and feelings. And I want you to think about the question, how does money make me feel? When I think about money, what emotions, what feelings come up for me? Take 1 minute and identify the emotions that are true to you. And I invite you to be true with yourself, be real with yourself here. Let's take 2 minutes for this reflection. Okay. I'd like to invite a couple of you to share with us some of the things that came up for you. And if you're willing to share with us some of your insights, let's hear him. Here we go. We got Arifin. I'm going to spotlight you. Thanks for sharing, my friend. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you, Peleg. Good to see you. Am I muted?
We can
you
hear
me?
You're good.
Oh,
yes.
Okay, great. All right, thank you. Yeah. So I had a really nice list with some really nice words on it, but the three that come up. Thanks for asking the question. Insecure, stressed, worried.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Raise your hand if you can relate to anything that Arifin just read. Let's look at this, Arifin. You're not alone. You're not alone. Yeah. Jenny, where are you, sweetheart? Here you are. I'm going to spotlight you. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Hi, honey.
Hi. I I have money makes me feel grateful, worried, and stressed.
Okay. Grateful, worried, and stressed. Right. Raise your hand if you can relate. Yeah. See, Jenny, you're not alone. Not alone. Let's see. One more person. Gladys, tell us. How does money?
Hi. First of all, I have a pension, so I don't have to worry about my basic needs. So money makes me feel generous, happy, and grateful. But then I thought if I had a lot more money, then all of a sudden I would feel stressed and worried. I thought that was a funny thing because it's just a thought,
That's powerful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Beautiful. So as you look at your list right now, right? If you look at the things that you wrote, right? How many of those feelings are fear-based? Just do a quick check. How many are fear-based versus love-based? How many are coming from fear? How many are coming from scarcity? We're not judging it. We're just observing. We're just paying attention to, oh, this exists in me. That's so interesting. We're not judging it, right? So I wonder what that belief system is about. What is that operating system? So let's do some more work around that. I want to give you an inquiry to do. I want to give you 12 sentences to complete. And I really want you to complete these sentences without overthinking. Connect to your heart, connect to your truth, and just complete the sentence. Okay. And these are 12 different statements. I'll bring them up on the screen. And what I would invite you to do is to actually, it's to write the entire sentence, right? Don't just write the answer. So begin to reflect on this. Money is what? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think about money? And I will add some inspiring music. Sounds of the New Mexico desert. I encourage you to not overthink this, to really go with your gut reaction. First thing that comes to your mind. I'm going to give you 3 more minutes to complete this. When you've completed the last question, just give me a thumbs up in your reaction button. All right. If you haven't completed the list and you still have a couple left, I want you to jump to the last one, number 12. My biggest fear about money is. And complete that one, because that's the one we're going to use for our next exercise. The biggest fear about money is. See if you can identify it. Okay, good work. I'd love to invite one or two of you to share from your experience anything you'd like to reflect on. There you go. Cheryl, go ahead.
Yeah, it was enlightening, but I think predictable. There was a very negative theme coming through here, and I do understand why. So it's definitely something I need to work on.
That's a good insight. Yeah. I think I saw one more hand raised up. Janine. Where are you, Janine?
So
There you go.
I thought it was very interesting because I've been working on not having a poverty mindset for about a decade. So I was happy to see that more were the love versus the fear. But it is pesky and persistent. So I could see some fear answers bubbling up.
Yeah. Yeah. Good observation. Good. Cool. I want to take you a little deeper now and look at what you wrote about your biggest fear about money. And I'm going to ask you to write down the answer to the following inquiry. Okay. Let's see. So first, write again. My biggest fear about money is. Complete that sentence. And then reflect on whether this fear is based on your current reality or a story that you believe in. And if it is a story that you believe in, if it is a belief, what is that belief? Can you identify that belief? Can you write it in a statement? And then what I'd like you to do is write a counter argument to this fear based on facts and positive affirmations. Okay, following me? Yeah, I'll give you 5 minutes to do this. Okay, time's up. Good work, everyone. I would love to invite anyone who wants to share any thoughts or reflections on anything that came up for you. Yes, Adi, go ahead.
Yes, and a question, if that's appropriate as well. So, to simplify, the belief is that my gifts lie in a different arena of life, so that I have skills that relate to etheric work, what I call my starborn nature, but that I will never be grounded enough. I'll never get this 3D world well enough to be functional in the way that would allow me to be solvent and stable financially. Yeah. And a question that I realized that I've been carrying for a while that came out of that is, how does one discern between what I might call being in magical thinking, being in denial of sort of some of the hard truths of being functional, being human, being in 3D, and the other side of it, holding trust and faith in what has not yet shown itself. How do I know if I am in that denial place, if I am not telling myself the truth because or if I'm caught in magical thinking as opposed to constructive visualizing?
Ooh, that's a deep question. How do you know? I would shift the question to belief. Like, what do you believe at the end of the day? Do you believe that the two can coexist?
I do, but I also know I do have a lot of avoidance. That's my reactivity to financial fear. Is being vague or avoidant of things that are uncomfortable, and I have what I consider financial trauma. It's my central trauma, and so my body will go into really heightened reactivity.
Yeah. So, have you? How do you feel about actually leaning into that space and
I
actually
am doing that.
facing those dragons? And
Very much
actually,
so. Yeah, that's my whole work right now. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's powerful.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think you know. I don't think you don't know. I do believe that you know. I think what I'm sensing is that, there's a fear of diving in and unpacking the root cause of what's going on. I don't know what that fear, what that outcome that you believe in that might happen if you actually do the work. But I think
Well, I'm in the midst of it. I've been dredging through it for a while. It's my current focus, but you're absolutely right. It's just like anything. Once I get through a layer, then there's the next one, and I feel like there's a prize at the bottom that's going to be very difficult, but very powerful, and I haven't quite got there yet. I think that's where I am. And some of the words you used were actually what came up in our partner conversation.
Yeah. It sounds to me that you are exactly where you need to be, and the fact that you have this awareness, and that you are doing the work. The work, it takes time, it takes effort, it takes energy. It doesn't happen overnight. If you think about if I'm carrying with me a lifetime of financial trauma, it's not going to take one session or one exercise to heal that, to shift that. It takes it's slow, and it takes attention, and it takes mindfulness, and um, it takes the belief, really, that you are in the right direction. And even though we don't know what that so-called prize is at the end of this process, I think the prize is here already. The fact that you are doing this work, the fact that you are healing every day is the prize. What the outcome may be, we don't know what the outcome may be, because you haven't met yourself at that point yet. You haven't really shifted into that place fully to create what it is that you want to create. But you're on the right track. Keep at it. Yeah, good work.
Thank you.
Let's see. I think Christopher had his hand up. Christopher. Mr. Shell.
Talking with my partner Linda in this, it occurred to me how quickly safety can get entrenched with another emotion to prevent action, right? So I think in both of our cases, this idea of having enough and being safe, and as soon as you have that, if you tie that to guilt of like, well, why can't I just be happy with what I have? Or I'm, where is that balance between striving and safety, and how quickly that prevents action? Because in this case, it was both like, yeah, I think there's the power to unleash more, but does that risk the safety, or does that make me feel guilty or shameful that I want to reach for more, right? And so it's amazing what a blocker, I think, to action that is, that safety, which is something we all strive for. As soon as I think as soon as you attach some kind of a negative emotion, what it means to try to challenge that safety, I think it really becomes a blocker to action.
Yeah. And so, how would you counter that belief? What would be the belief that you can begin to embody, even if it may feel unnatural at this moment?
Yeah. I mean, I think there's two things. One is that, I don't know. It comes down to me to challenging safety, which I think is an uncomfortable, reaction as to why would you challenge the feeling of safety. But I think there's a belief that, you know, back to my definition of peace and energy kind of overlapping, right? Is that I think sometimes I can feel a sense of peace and having enough, but then the energy goes away. And I think then the energy challenges the safety. So I think there's a belief that, it's not binary, I guess. I mean, right. I feel like the beginning of your conversation was even we go from one extreme to another, right? We're either in this lack and we don't have enough, or it's that we're greedy and we have too much. And that I think that the belief is that there's lots of room in between, right? That there's lots of room to run that doesn't put you at either extreme.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's also about learning to shift that belief and to hold on to something. Because if I'm moving through the world feeling insecure or unsafe, if that is the foundation, right? That's where I want to begin to work on, is shifting the belief that rather than I'm always unsafe in the world, to begin to reprogram my subconscious with the idea that I am safe. It's as simple as I am safe, and to begin to look for proof of that every day, to prove that belief wrong. And that's where the work really kicks in. That's the work that most of us don't want to do, right? Because it kind of feels unnatural in the beginning, because I've been so used to feeling unsafe my entire life. And I've been working really hard and proving that point to myself over and over again. So let me try this as an experiment. What I've begin to actually say to myself every day, I am safe. Begin with that as a mantra. And look around and see, how am I safe today? Because generally, when we feel unsafe, for most of us, that feeling of unsafety or the insecurity is not actually a reflection of what's going on in my life right now. It's usually future thinking. It's usually a worry about something that we're afraid that might happen down the road. So bring yourself to the present moment. Bring yourself to now and work with that. And this is where the repetition happens, right? Because what is a belief at the end of the day? Okay, here's another gem for you guys, something I learned that changed my life. What is the definition of a belief? A belief is a repeated thought. If you think something long enough, you will believe it. Right? So somehow in your journey of life, you had an experience that showed you that taught you that it's unsafe. To live is not to be safe. And you probably just internalized it and made it your story, and it's probably so ingrained in you that it feels like it feels like it's a prison. It feels like this is where I'm always walking through the world with this unsafety energy in me, right? But you have the power to change that. you have the power to work on that. It takes a lot of work, but it works. It does work. I see it happen all the time.
And oddly enough, I think when you have that belief, then you look for things to support that belief, right? So I think
Exactly.
that, then you tend to kind of be like, well, let me prove all the ways I am unsafe, because, right, instead of looking for the ways that you're safe. So I think that's
and if that's the dominant belief that you feel that you carry with you, start paying attention to how it shows up in different ways in your life. And how do you know when it shows up, when it's activated? You pay attention to how you feel. Like if you're feeling low, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling the anxiety, that's an indication to stop, to ask myself, okay, what's going on? What's triggering this? What's underneath that? Could it be that I'm feeling unsafe at the moment? Oh, yeah, I think I am feeling unsafe. Why am I feeling unsafe? What happened in my external world that made me feel unsafe? Because it triggered the story and it kicked in and it caused anxiety and it put me in this place. Just being able to track back that process for yourself, you can meet yourself in a place where you go, okay, well, I can choose to shift out of this. I can choose to actually, I'm looking around my life and actually I'm safe right now. I'm actually just worried about something in the future that may or may not happen. That's the work. That's the process. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. So I hope the work that we did so far in this session begin to give you a new view on your relationship with money, and hopefully highlighted some areas that you may want to start bringing attention to. And for your relationship with money to truly heal and shift from a place of scarcity to abundance, well, that takes work. And if you're ready and willing to do that work, if you're ready to meet yourself and deepen your connection to yourself, to overcome your fears, to overcome that sabotaging voice that tells you that you're not worthy or they're not good enough, or whatever other negative stories that are playing out that's holding you back from truly living a life of abundance, well, chances are that you're ready for change. And if you're feeling a spark in you to take a step forward and begin to do the work on creating this change, well, I want to tell you a little bit about the creative high growth process, a process that I run once a year with a small group of people. It's an intense coaching program because I believe in the intensity and the depth that we need to experience for real change to occur. And one of the things I love about mentoring people and coaching them in this process is witnessing how their creative free spirit ignites and gets activated, and how they begin to apply their creativity to every aspect of their lives, including money. So this program is designed to accelerate your personal and professional growth so that you don't just evolve, but that you leap forward in the areas that you want to change in your life. The work that I present in this process is a combination of 20 years worth of coaching, of knowledge, of insights and tools that I've created, and I've condensed them into a powerful experience that takes 100 days. And to be frank with you, this process is not for everyone. It's really designed for people who are ready and willing to do the work and to make this commitment to themselves and step into a place where they're willing to be vulnerable and willing to learn how to tame that voice of the inner critic and bring their authentic voice to life. So recently I sat down with a few of the students who went through this process and ask them to share from their experience of what this process was like. Let's take a look inside the creative high growth journey.
When I first heard about the program, I felt it. I felt something inside of me, just some kind of reaction in my heart and my chest. And I was like, I felt like a spark of energy.
I wanted to rediscover my creative voice as an artist. I got so much more than I bargained for.
Before the 100 days, I thought, oh, I've done a lot of work on myself. I'm in good shape. I mean, look at all I've survived, and I'm in good shape. I'm a happy-go-lucky person. And then the 100 days started, and I said, oh, shit. There's a whole lot more work I need to do.
I had lost my creative voice. I was producing art for other people to meet objectives, and I had forgotten who I was as an artist. I'd forgotten how to play. I'd forgotten what it was like to have no outcome except to show up to the blank page or to the piece of art that I was producing with childlike wonder.
I had lost my own creative spark, I guess you could call it. You know, I had a design agency and we were doing creative work all day, every day, but I didn't have a personal practice anymore. And, you know, I used to be in the darkroom or I used to be in the print shop and doing the things. And so I felt like there was literally a piece of me that was missing.
I didn't know it at the time, but I was burnt out in my career to a level I had no idea. I've been a designer almost 30 years. But I started to notice that it wasn't lighting me up anymore. It wasn't fulfilling me. But I didn't know what else to do.
When I started out, I was all in. I showed up. But on day one, when I was faced with doing the writing and the art, I said, oh, this is real. This is real. I have committed to this, committed to myself, committed to others. And that's when the fear kicked in, on day one. I said, wow, in order for me to really fully be a part of this experience, I'm going to have to get vulnerable. I'm going to have to get real with myself, and I'm going to actually share that with other people. And so I felt the resistance. I did it anyway.
The 100 days of creative high growth is many things. It's hard. It's work. It is incredibly creative. It will absolutely get you in touch with not just your creativity, but creatively with parts of yourself that maybe you didn't even know were there, that you long abandoned. And I think that that's difficult work. And on the other side of that, there's a lot of beauty. There's a lot of potential.
I would say the 100 Days experience was a really big step forward in my own personal healing journey. And I reconnected with my creator, my inner creator, my inner creative. my creating from a sense of joy, creating to enjoy the act of making with no constraints and no expectations. And that was a very freeing experience. I felt like I had expanded. Yeah.
There were days when I wanted to throw my hands up. There were other days I wanted to scream. But the process is liberatory. It's there for a reason. And the reason is to uncover the treasure that you are.
I feel like the 100 days process is like running a gauntlet. It's hard, it's intense, it's not for everyone. It is the best work I have ever done, ever. I am my own masterpiece. I felt raw and cleansed by fire, but the end destination of this gauntlet was the best version of me there has ever been.
We're currently accepting applications for the 2024 class. And if there's a part of you, if there's a spark in you that's telling you that this may be a path you want to take, and this may be some work that you want to do, well, I encourage you to explore. I encourage you to step forward and complete an exploration form, which I am including the link down below, and set up time to have a conversation to see if this work is really right for you. As I mentioned, this process is not for everyone, and I'm very discerning as far as who I accept into the program, because I look for people who are committed to themselves and devoted and are willing to show up for themselves every single day, because we'll spend 100 consecutive days together. That's a lot of time. And the power of showing up for yourself and creating the change you want to experience for yourself, well, it requires work and dedication. Now, the process includes daily sessions. They're pre-recorded sessions that you receive. They're work sessions. The process includes intimate one-on-one coaching sessions. It includes group meetings and a few surprises that I'll keep a secret for now. But those surprises will keep you motivated and keep the work in flow, so that you can reach the goal that you achieve for yourself. Now, one of the most valuable things about this program is that you won't be doing this work alone. You'll be a part of a cohort of like-minded people going through the same experience together. And that's a big part of the magic of this process, this community. You will witness others on their journey, and you will be witnessed, and you will be celebrated and supported in really incredible ways. You'll also be supported by a group of trained coaches that went through this program themselves and know exactly what you're going through. They'll help you stay on track and overcome anything you might face along the way that might be delaying you or stopping the process of your work. So if you're ready to embark on an adventure, and if you want to explore what it would be like to work together in this work, I invite you to inquire and set up a conversation, and we'll take it from there. So thank you. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for showing up. And at this time, I'd like us to take a breath and get centered and close our time together. And allow me to share an abundance prayer that is very dear to my heart. A prayer that I visit every day to help keep me aligned and to help me connected to love. And I look forward to seeing you once again at our next Shabbat session as we take another step towards your creative high growth. Divine love, allow me to give with complete ease and abundance, knowing that you are the ultimate source of all. Divine love, let me be an open conduit for your prosperity. Let me trust that all my needs are always met in amazing ways, and that it is safe to give freely as my heart guides. And equally, let me feel widely open to receiving. May I know my own value, beauty, and worthiness without question. Let me allow others the supreme pleasure of giving to me. And may I find it worthy to receive in every possible way. Divine love, change me into one who can fully love, forgive, and accept myself, so I may carry love without restriction. Let everything that needs to go, go, and let everything that needs to come, come. Divine love, I am utterly your own. You are me, I am you. We are one. All is well, and all is full of love.